Okay, so now that the candidate has his best fit jobs, one of the things he can do is start checking those jobs out. And for instance, here's the one that the system says is the best fit for him. You click on that job, and right now the job data is not templated right, so let's not worry about that. But what I want to show is that you basically have two action items you can do on any job. So you read all about the job, and then the first thing you can do is add it to the interest list, or you can inquire now. Now, of course, when we inquire, what that really means is we're really interested, we're showing our interest in applying for the job. And we'll get into that in just a second. But the other thing I can do is add to my interest list. And what that feature is there's a widget on my profile page that keeps track of every job that I add to my interest list. And it's very much like an Amazon.com wish list type of a feature. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to process, and now see it shows this job has been added to the interest list. And you'll see, like, if I go back to my profile page, the first thing that you'll see is that if I go to my interest list widget, that job has now been added there. Now if I go back to that job, it will always say that it'll show me permanently now that that is one of my wish list jobs. Okay, and so I can go, and as I build my wish list or my interest list, I can kind of evaluate that, and then eventually I can decide to go ahead and inquire about a job. Now the second aspect of that is when we're ready for a candidate to go ahead and inquire on a job, it's very possible that there's a whole nother set of information that we would want that candidate to provide for us in order to make an inquiry to a particular job. Let me give you an example of that. Let's say that we were going to choose this pilot job. In order to apply to be a pilot or show interest to be a pilot, there's probably a lot of data that I would need to provide, like for instance, credentials of my, of my piloting license and other types of unique data that would be very different than the kind of data I would need to provide if I was going to apply to be a missionary or like a pastor or something like that. So let me show you how that kind of works. I'm going to come back over into the, admin, and we're going to look for jobs management icon, and I'm going to click on jobs management. And let's say we wanted to take that pilot job and we wanted to have some unique information that the candidate was going to apply. I'm going to double click that pilot job, and from here I can go to job settings. And this gives me a unique little thing. It shows us, first of all, everybody who's ever applied to the job, and it shows all interviews that are being scheduled for my company for this job with different candidates. It shows all web forms that have been filled out in association with this job. And then it shows, the owners of the job, or not filled out in association with the job, but the web forms that I'm attaching. And this is the part I wanted to show you. Is this over here is a list of all my web forms I've ever created. And what I can do here, and I'm going to delete that one from the job, but what I can do is I can attach one or more, unlimited number of web forms actually, to this job. And when I say attach it, here's what that means. Like if I wanted to say airplane mechanics app, okay, I can double click that and it will add to this job. And then I could go transportation forms, it will add. And then let's say I wanted to add the educational info form. Okay, now what that means is in order to inquire for this job, I would actually have to fill out all three of those forms to make my inquiry. Okay, and so for now I'm going to delete two of these forms just to make this simple, and I'm going to demonstrate how that works. Okay, let's go back to our candidate, and this is the job pilot. I'm going to click on that. I've already added it to my interest list. Oh, I guess I've already inquired for that job. So that's my mistake. So that's okay. A little repetition never hurt anything. Let's open up the missionary job. Here it is. Let's go to the job settings. And again, we go to the web forms. And it looks like we have two different web forms. I'm going to delete one of them. So let's just leave this airplane mechanics app one there. All right, so now what that means is in order to inquire for that job, I'm going to have to fill out that particular form. So let's go to that missionary job, and I'm going to press inquire now. And there it is, airplane mechanics app. So let's put Sam Adams Now remember, this form can be anything you want it to be. This is just some test form that's been built. But if I submit this form, it's going to confirm that I've applied for this job. Now, once I come back into this job, I can open it up, and I see applicants for this job are Sam Adams, and that's in progress. Now, I can actually change the status of that application right in line right here. Okay, and so anyways, you can see that we have a method for attaching different web forms to any particular job, so that in order to inquire for a specific job, you might have various web forms you have to fill out in order to do that. And then the other thing just to keep in mind is that I can go back over to candidate management, and I can open this candidate up there, and I can click on submitted web forms, and from here you can see I can look at the results of that web form. So right here I can see, oh, okay, he filled that out, Sam Adams, SamAdams.com. So you see that's what I filled out. So administratively I can go in and I can see every web form this candidate ever filled out, whether it be in association with the job or whatever. The other thing is I can look and see, oh, okay, this guy has made application to 2 different jobs. And I can go ahead and do the status of that here as well. Or look, review data. So you can see that it's going to show me the results of all the forms that were filled out as a result of applying for that job. So that's kind of that next step of how does it work for an applicant to basically apply for a job or begin the process of communicating about a job they're interested in.